in to the Brotherluvshow, the best podcast in Utah. Peace, 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 peace and blessings, family. Welcome to the Brotherluvshow. Thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. We got a small goal over here. We're trying to get our first 1,000 subscribers. Do what you can for the Brotherluvshow, my man. Yeah, I got a good one for you, and I found a lady that I think we all need to take a look at. This is a lady who's been on a crusade to stop racism for a pretty long time, and she happens to be a Caucasian lady. And I think there's somebody that the Brotherluvshow need to see. I need to show y'all. Y'all need to get aboard this lady right here. Her name is Miss Jane Elliott. Here we go.
Who was born, raised, and schooled in the United States of America. If you aren't a racist, you're a miracle. Either that or you decided to educate yourself. Because education in this country is about white is right, brown's all right, black's got to stand back. Yellow's mellow, but whites, we educate in a way that says that white males have done all the adventures, have made all the adventures, have done all the discovering, have made everything that is good and has been accomplished according to social studies, which is actually anti-social studies, by white males. It's a lie. But we do that in order to maintain the myth of white superiority. The myth of race has to be maintained at all costs in this country. Because if white people have to give up the color of their skin as being something that makes them perfect, what do they have left? If we start teaching the truth about history, if we start teaching about Nile Valley contributions to civilization, it will totally change the way we conduct ourselves in the classroom. It will have to. Columbus didn't discover America. You can't discover a place where people are already living. But we celebrate that every October. It's a lie. We need to get over. We need to stop telling the myths and start telling the truth.
So when you tell people that they're racist, and it must have some kind of effect, because most people will say, I'm not racist.
I'm not a racist. Why, some of my best friends are black.
Right.
Yeah, and then you say, name one. Or this one, I don't see color. And when some woman says to me, I don't see color, I say, I knew that. If you saw color, you wouldn't dye your hair that way. Or I say, if you saw color, you wouldn't wear that shirt with those pants. I believe that you don't see color. It's an attempt to deny skin color. And it's an attempt to deny what's wrong with seeing the color of my skin. Is it all right for you to see me kind of pink? That's okay for me. I don't mind. And I suspect that you don't mind being seen the color you are. You have a right to be what you are. And until people in this country and people in this world get it into their heads that the first modern human beings that evolved on this earth were black women. They evolved in sub-Saharan Africa about 280,000 years ago. And every human being on the face of the earth today has the memory of those black women's genetic structure in their genes. Now, we don't want to admit that, but that's the way it is. And as people moved farther and farther from the equator, their bodies produced less and less melanin, so their hair, their skin, and their eyes got lighter. As they moved into the east, they ate a lot of fish and a lot of vegetables, so their skin took on a different tone. I found that out when I was raising little kids. My husband worked in a supermarket. He was the head of the produce department. And they had lots of oranges that they couldn't sell, so he'd bring them home. And I was feeding my kids orange juice like you never saw in your life. They began to have an orange cast to their skin. I thought they had a liver problem. So I took him to the doctor, and she said, what are you feeding these kids? I said, well, lots of orange juice. She said, stop it if you want to stop being orange. Now, if you think that skin color isn't anything other than the body's natural reaction to the natural environment, get over it.
So if all white people are racist, according to you, can they be reprogrammed?
Of course they can. Of course they can. Of course they can be. It's called education. I'm an educator. The word educator comes from the root duc dus, which means lead, the prefix e, which means out, the suffix ate, which means the act of, and the suffix or, which means one who does. An educator is one who is engaged in the act of leading people out of ignorance.
It's a special week. Does anybody know what it is?
National Brotherhood.
National Brotherhood Week. What's brotherhood? Treat everyone as though he was your brother. And is there anyone in this United States that we do not treat as our brothers?
Yes.
Who?
Yeah.
The black people. Who else?
Indians.
Absolutely, the Indians. Many places in the United States. How are black people treated? How are Indians treated? How are people who are of a different color than we are treated?
They don't get anything in this world.
Why is that?
Because they're different color.
You think you know how that would feel to be judged by the color of your skin? I don't. Do you think you do? No, I don't think you'd know how that felt unless you had been through it, would you? It might be interesting to judge people today by the color of their eyes. Would you like to try this?
Yeah!
Sounds like fun, doesn't it? Since I'm the teacher and I have blue eyes, I think maybe the blue-eyed people should be on top the first day. I mean, the blue-eyed people are the better people in this room. Oh, yes, they are.
Yeah.
Blue-eyed people are smarter than brown-eyed people. This is a fact. The brown-eyed people do not get to use the drinking fountain. You'll have to use the paper cups. You brown-eyed people are not to play with the blue-eyed people on the playground. Well, the brown-eyed people in this room today are going to wear collars so that we can tell from a distance what color your eyes are. Ready, Laurie?
Brown-eyed.
She's a brown-eyed. You'll begin to notice today that we spend a great deal of time waiting for brown-eyed people. I don't see the yardstick, do you?
It's probably over there. Hey, Miss Lane, you better keep that on your desk when the brown-eyed people get out of hand.
Oh, you think if the brown-eyed people get out of hand, that would be the thing to use. Who goes first to lunch?
Blue-eyed.
The blue-eyed people. Blue-eyed people may go back for seconds. Brown-eyed people do not.
Brown-eyed.
Don't you know?
Oh, they're not smart.
Lots of different colors for skin.
I have questions for you about these pictures of different children.
After I read the question, I want you to
Point to the picture that fits the story.
Are children colorblind in America?
show me the smart child.
Show me the mean child.
Can you show me the dumb child?
Show me the nice child.
Is bias measurable even at an early age?
Why is she the bad child?
Because she's black.
And why is he the ugly child?
Because he looks like he's white.
Why is he the dumb child?
Because she has dark brown skin.
Why is she the bad child?
Because she makes fun of everybody else's skin color.
How much do kids learn from what they see and hear from adults?
Show me the child who has the skin color most adults like.
And show me the child who has a skin color most adults don't like.
These are questions that we, along with CNN's Soledad O'Brien and a team of psychologists hired by CNN, spent months investigating through tests, interviews with children and their parents. But they're questions that have been asked for decades. The first doll study ignited controversy in the 1940s, when psychologists Kenneth and Mamie Clark pioneered studies in the effects of segregation in schools by asking African American kids to choose between black and white dolls. The so-called doll test found black kids overwhelmingly preferred white over black. Those results were at the center of the landmark 1954 Supreme Court case Brown versus the Board of Education that desegregated American schools. Now, with the first African American president and nearly 60 years after segregation was overturned, we wondered, where are we today? How do kids see differences in race? What we discovered might shock you, but first, how we got there.
Skin color, child skin color estimate.
Okay, yeah.
We asked renowned child psychologist and University of Chicago researcher Dr. Margaret Beal Spencer to design a pilot study for CNN and analyze the results.
Our children are always near us, because we're a society. And what we put out there, kids report back.
And it seemed like when we were down on the bottom, everything bad was happening to us.
The way they treated you, you felt like you didn't even want to try to do anything.
It seemed like Mrs. Elliott was taking our best friends away from us.
What happened at recess? Were two of you boys fighting?
Russell called me names and I hit him in the gut.
What did he call you?
Brown eyes. They always call us that. They keep calling us brown eyes.
What's wrong with being called brown-eyed?
It means that we're stupider.
I watched what had been marvelous, cooperative, wonderful, thoughtful children turn into nasty, vicious, discriminating, little third graders in a space of 15 minutes. Yesterday, I told you that brown-eyed people aren't as good as blue-eyed people. That wasn't true. I lied to you yesterday. The truth is that brown-eyed people are better than blue-eyed people. Russell, where are your glasses?
I forgot them.
You forgot them, and what color are your eyes?
Blue.
Susan Ginder has brown eyes. She didn't forget her glasses. Russell Ring has blue eyes, and what about his glasses?
He forgot them.
He forgot them. Yesterday we were visiting, and Greg said, "Boy, I like to hit my little sister as hard as I can. That's fun." What does that tell you about blue-eyed people?
They're naughty.
The brown-eyed people may take off their collars, and each of you may put your collar on a blue-eyed person. The brown-eyed people get 5 extra minutes of recess. You blue-eyed people are not allowed to be on the playground equipment. You blue-eyed people are not to play with the brown-eyed people. Brown-eyed people are better than blue-eyed people. They're smarter than blue-eyed people. And if you don't believe it, look at Brian. I use Orton Gillingham Phonics. We use the card pack. The brown-eyed children were in the low class the first day, and it took them 5.5 minutes to get through the card pack. The second day, it took them 2.5 minutes. The only thing that had changed was the fact that now they were superior people. You went faster than I've ever had anyone go through the card pack. Why couldn't you get them yesterday?
We had those collars on.
You think the collars kept you?
We just keep thinking about those collars.
Oh, and you couldn't think as well with the collars on. 4 minutes and 18 seconds. How long did it take you yesterday?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. How long did it take you today?
4 minutes and 18 seconds.
What happened?
One down.
What were you thinking of?
This.
I hate today.
How do you do? I hate too.
Because I'm blue-eyed.
See, I am too.
There's nothing, it's not funny, it's not fun, it's not pleasant. This is a filthy, nasty word called discrimination. We're treating people a certain way because they are different from the rest of us. Is that fair?
No.
Nothing fair about it. We didn't say this was going to be a fair day, did we?
No.
And it isn't. It's a horrid day. Okay, you ready? What did you people who are wearing blue collars now find out today?
I know what they felt like yesterday.
I did too. How did they feel yesterday?
Down. Like a dog on a leash. Yeah. Like you're chaining them up into prison. Like you're shut up and you're throwing the key away.
Should the color of some other person's eyes have anything to do with how you treat them?
No.
All right, then should the color of their skin?
No.
Should you judge people by the color of their skin?
No.
When you see a black man or an Indian or someone walking down the street, are you going to say, look at that silly looking thing?
No.
Does it make any difference whether their skin is black or white?
No.
Or yellow?
No.
Or red?
No.
Is that how you decide whether people are good or bad?
No.
Is that what makes people good or bad?
No.
Now you know a little bit more than you knew at the beginning of this week?
Yes.
Okay, now are you back?
Yes.
That feel better?
Yes.
Does the color of eyes that you have make any difference in the kind of person you are?
No. Mrs. Valley.
Homophobic behaviors, ethnocentric behaviors, ageist behaviors. Maybe you will say to yourself, wait a minute. I had that for one morning. I'm never going to allow that to happen in my presence again without responding to it negatively.
Over the course of 2.5 hours on a Saturday morning, 24 American college students participated in an experience which would change their lives.
Why am I here? Because it seemed like a good idea at the time. I don't know, I haven't given it that much thought. I don't usually get up this early.
I think it's just going to be people talking about their political views and how they form them.
Harassment. That's what they prepped us for.
Some people may say some stupid comments that is going to heat up the room.
I really don't know what to expect. I just expect a lot of argument about things that we don't necessarily agree on.
Take a name tag, put your name on it, and then sign in according to the color of your eyes. You didn't hear what I said. Take a name tag, go over there, take a name tag, pick it up, put your name on it. Then sign in according to the color of your eyes. You, sit here. Go into that room right there. Stay there until I come for you. Don Brown, sit down. Brown-eyed, right around the corner. That room right there. You always wear that cap in the building? Yeah. Sit down.
Can you be a little nicer, please?
What?
It's early in the morning, and it's not very nice to be talking to us.
You have my sympathy. Now let me tell you something. All you have to do is do exactly what I say, exactly when I tell you to, exactly as I say it. If I tell you to take your cap off, you take your cap off.
You can ask me nicely.
If I need, no, I do not have to ask you nicely. Now get over that idea right now. You got it? Now, move your leg. In that room. Brown eye, go into this room right around the corner. Nice writing. In this room. Brown eye, go into this room right around the corner. Sit down. Move your leg. Don't remove this for any reason whatsoever. So I tell you to, but never. Sit down.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
On the day after Martin Luther King Jr. was killed, I decided to do an exercise that would help my students to understand racism. I tried to make a difference. I'm still trying to make that difference.
Is there anyone in this United States that we do not treat as our brothers?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
The black people. How are black people treated? How are Indians treated? How are people who are of a different color than we are treated?
They're part of this world. They don't get anything in this world.
Why is that?
Because they're different colors.
I feel people need this because we are still doing now what we were doing in the 50s.
Is there anything about you people that is different from one another that we could use to make part of you?
Like the eyes, what color the eyes are?
Okay, we could use the color of your eyes. How many in here have blue eyes? Okay, how many in here have brown eyes? It might be interesting to judge people today by the color of their eyes. Would you like to try this?
I'm trying to get the people who participate in this exercise the opportunity to find out how it feels to be something other than white in this society. All right, people, I'm Jane Elliott. I'm your resident bitch for the day, and make no mistake about that. That's exactly what this is about. I do this in a mean, nasty way because racism, sexism, ageism, homophobia, ethnocentrism are mean and nasty. Today, I am here because I have been asked to do an exercise in discrimination based on eye color. Now, the purpose of this exercise is to give these nice, blue-eyed white kids the opportunity to spend about an hour and a half to 2 hours on the receiving end of the treatment which we mete out to people of color on a daily basis in this country. They're in a blue-eyed holding room right now. They are not eating, they are not drinking. There are 3 chairs in there for 12 people. We're going to bring these people in here. You're going to treat them as though they're inferior, because they are inferior. Everybody understand that? They're not going to learn because they can't learn, and because we're going to set it up so they can't learn. And if they succeed, who has failed? We have. Do you people want to fail? No. If they get power, who loses power? We do. Do you want to lose power? No. For 400 years in this country, we've been basing our judgment of people on the color of their skin. Eye color and skin color are caused by the same chemical, melanin. If you have a lot of melanin in your hair, your skin, and your eyes, you have very dark hair, very dark eyes, and very dark skin. If you have only a little melanin in your skin, your hair, and your eyes, you have light skin, light hair, and light eyes. These people all have too little melanin in their eyes. So obviously, they aren't as smart as we are. We're going to accuse them of not being as smart as we are. We're going to accuse them of not being as clean as we are. We're going to lower our expectations for them. We're going to force them to live down to our expectations of them. And when they do, we're going to blame their inability to perform on the color of their eyes. Now, in order to get them into their adult ego state, we're going to try to teach them the listening skills. Now, what do we call men that we want to keep in their childlike state? Boy. We're going to call these males boy. You're not going to use their given name. You're going to call them boy. Or you're going to call them bluey. Or you're going to call them fool. Now, people, what do we call women besides chicks? Honey, baby, gal, doll face, doll, dumpling.
That's the catering band.
Oh. That means all food's here.
Means it's either all here or they packed it up.
You can't not feed us.
We are going to give them no respect. How many of you have friends in that group? Let me put it this way. How many of you used to have friends in that group? Because some of these people are going to leave here very angry because they choose to be angry. And if they say to you, that made me mad and I'll never forgive you for that, you need to say to them, you had it for 2.5 hours one day. One day in your life, you had it for 2.5 hours and you're still angry about it. How often? How often have you been discriminated against on the basis of the color of your skin? Number of days? More than once in your lifetime?
Oh, yeah.
More than 2.5 hours in your lifetime?
Since the day I was born.
Since the day you were born. Has it happened to you recently? What?
Let's see if we do something like yeah, this. See what he says. Cover up the just pile the square in the center.
Can you put the chairs back the way they were? Put the chairs back the way they were.
White people's #1 freedom in the United States of America is the freedom to be totally ignorant about those who are other than white. We don't have to learn about those who are other than white. And our #2 freedom is the freedom to deny that we're ignorant. Today, we're going to take away these people's freedom to be ignorant. I want you to understand how the system works. And believe me, this is how the system works. We make laws to support white superiority and to reinforce white superiority. And when you catch on to how it works, then we change the laws. I didn't invent this exercise. I learned this from Adolf Hitler. One of the ways they decided who went into the gas chamber was eye color. This exercise is not without precedent.
Let's go, people. Okay, let's go.
Now look at this, watch him.
Should we just sit anywhere?
Look at him. Should we just sit anywhere? Should we just sit anywhere? If you came into a room in which the chairs were arranged in this way, and the brown-eyed people were sitting in these chairs in this way, and nobody was sitting in the chairs in the middle, where would you sit? In the middle. That would make sense to me. Would it make sense to you? Where are you going? Get in the blue-eyed section. The blue-eyed section is in the middle of the room. Get there. You're a non-brown? As far as I'm concerned, you're a bluey. Now, is this one giggling? What do you know about him? It's because he's ignorant? What else do you know about him? He's in his little child's ego state, isn't he? Get up here and sit down on the floor. You too, get up here and sit down on the floor.
I was really tired when I entered the room, but I didn't have any expectations. I was just sitting there and wondering how it could be an emotional experience because I had signed the paper that had warned me about ulcers and stress conditions and things like this, so I was curious, and there were a few mumbles about how it was going to go.
What are you two going to do?
Probably line up in front of them.
That's right. They're waiting for someone to take care of them. They're in their child ego state. What are you going to do?
Suppose we're going to sit down.
Okay. Sit down too. I don't want the last one. You have food yet?
What do you do? What do you say when you walk in front of someone?
Excuse me.
Try it.
Okay. Excuse me.
Certainly.
Thank you. I don't think anybody really knew what was going to happen. Nobody told us ahead of time. They just told us to show up at a certain time.
It didn't take very long before intimidation set in and before my buttons were pushed.
Now, while I've been talking, some of you have been sitting there reading the signs. I'm not going to put up with that any longer. So you in the back row, stand up and read the first sign on that wall back there.
Only brown eyes need apply.
Read it so we can hear you.
Only brown eyes need apply.
Next.
Blue eyes.
Stand up and read the next sign. Oh, watch this one. Watch this one, kids. Watch this. Sit down again and then stand up for us. Stand up. That's better. Now, read the next sign.
Blue eyes shouldn't hold political office.
Next.
Why can't a blue eye be more like a brown?
Read it again. Get it right this time.
Why can't a blue eye be more like a brown?
Read it again. Get it right this time. Pronounce each one of those words correctly as they're written.
Why can't a blue eye be more like a brown?
What's the word in front of blue?
A.
That's the letter A. What word is that? Read it over and get it right.
Why can't a blue eye be more like a brown?
Now, practice one more time.
Why can't a blue eye be more like a brown?
Next.
Louis, don't let
Oh, look at this. Did I tell you it was fun to watch blue-eyed people? Next.
I'm not prejudiced. Some of my best friends are blue-eyed.
How many of you have ever heard that one before in another form? Oh, yes. Favorite claim of liberals, right? Yes. I'm not prejudiced. Some of my best friends are black. Has any person ever said to you, any good liberal person ever said to you, when I see you, I don't see you black?
Every day!
Every damn day! How many of you have had that experience? When I see you, I don't see you black. And what do you say to them when they say that?
But I am.
But I am. And then what do they say?
They say, but I don't see color.
I don't see color. How many of you think they do see color? Well, people, if they didn't see color, they wouldn't say, when I see you, I don't see you black, because they wouldn't see black, would they? So you immediately know that they're lying, don't you? Yes. Yeah, they are lying. They're saying, I don't see your color.
You can't say, I don't see color, because then you'd be seeing in black and white. And that would be a really weird world to see. If everything was black and white, we would be some really messed up people.
It happens to me on a daily basis in the institution I'm at, and there's really no way around it, because whether people do it intentionally or not, what am I supposed to do?
Thinking about what is being said, you're thinking about what you're going to say. You blue-eyed people think that I look angry. You're the only ones who think I look angry. I don't look angry to these brown-eyed people. Perception is everything. White people look vicious and ugly and non-caring and cruel and arrogant and powerful and condescending and angry. Are you angry?
No.
Oh, good for you. Are you angry?
Trying not to.
Trying not to be. Now, does that take a lot of energy?
Yes.
Yes. Are you holding it in?
Yes.
Yes. And are you trying really, really hard not to react to me?
Yes.
Yes. And are you trying really hard not to look at me?
At the moment, yes.
Yes. Why?
Because I don't want to make myself more upset.
You don't want to make yourself more upset by looking at me.
Yes.
Right. Does that take a lot of time, a lot of energy?
Yes.
Yes. Is that hard for you?
Yes.
Could you develop an ulcer over this?
No.
If you had to do it every day, what would happen to your blood pressure?
It would rise.
Yeah. If somebody stood over you and you knew it was going to happen every day, or you expected it to happen every day, or it happened when you didn't expect it to, or it happened to your kids every day, after it happened to your mother every day. Now, getting right along, your hand is still up. You still didn't learn anything, did you? Didn't I just say when your hand is up, you are thinking of what you're going to say instead of what's being said? Didn't I just say that?
Yes, you did.
And did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
And did you decide that you were just going to do it your way?
I was.
Wait a minute, you were on a roll
yes,
there for
I
a minute.
did.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I did.
Now, since you choose to not listen to others, what do you suppose we're going to do where you're concerned?
Not listen to me.
Thank you very much.
May I
Now,
finish what I was saying,
no, because you're still thinking of what you're going to say instead of what I'm saying. Now, getting right along.
I heard what you were saying.
You're doing it
I
again.
understand what you were
You're
saying.
doing it again.
I don't care.
You're doing it
because
again.
It's wrong.
You're
and you
doing it again.
Persecuted her for standing
You're
out.
doing it again.
Persecuted him for standing out. The only change that ever happens is when people stand out, and I have sat back too.
Martin Luther King Jr. was shot. Are you in any physical danger here? Are you in any physical danger here? Is that girl in any physical danger here? Emmett Till was hanged by his neck after he was beaten almost to death, simply because he made a statement to a white woman. Does he have a reason to be angry? Every time I do the exercise, there is a point at which I know I have made the point. And we could stop there, but you have to nail it down. And so it goes on longer than some people think it should, but you have to nail it down. People at this institution...
You've made your point, you're right.
Yeah, thank you very much. What is my point that I've made?
That you can't make generalizations about any place because there's racism everywhere.
That's right. And while it may be... No. You don't come back in here until you've apologized to every person in this room. Because you just exercised a freedom that none of these people of color have. When these people of color get tired of racism, they can't just walk out, because there's no place in this country where they aren't going to be exposed to racism. They can't even stay in their own homes and not be exposed to racism, even if they turn on the television. But you, as a white female, when you get tired of being judged and treated unfairly on the basis of your eye color, you can walk out that door, and you know it won't happen out there. You exercised a freedom they don't have. If you're going to be in here, you're going to apologize to every black person in this room. And do it now.
I'm
and
sorry.
the Latinos, every person of color.
Racism in this country.
Bullshit! No, you're not going to say, I'm sorry there's racism. You're going to apologize for what you just did.
I will not apologize because it is not a matter of race always.
Out. Now, is she choosing to leave? Yes. She could apologize and stay.
I won't play the wrong game anymore.
It ain't gonna hurt her. It's not gonna hurt her to apologize.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
What's going on in this room alone? Once she leaves it, that's it. It's over with.
Okay. That ain't gonna hurt her. Is it gonna hurt her?
She, according to her action, it's killing her.
Yes. It's killing her.
But these people, they felt like it was somewhat traumatic. And I'm thinking, how is this so traumatic when they weren't cursed? Nobody was throwing anything at them. They weren't hit. They were just getting upset over minor stuff that happens to us every day, but they don't realize it.
One of our students left because she had the right to make the choice whether to stay or go. Students of color do not have the right to make the choice.
Her walking out showed frustration, not only of her as a white person, but of many people of color. And I kind of think that if somebody didn't walk out, that it really wouldn't articulate what we want to do every day. We all want to walk out. We all want to get away from the problem.
What have you learned, honestly?
I've learned a lot of things. I've learned that you can compare the stages of loss to the loss of power. And
Does that sound logical to you?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, is that what happened in here this morning?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Is that sick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, that's sick.
That's sick.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. And if it's sick in this room with this many students, well, there's it out of here on a daily basis.
I feel that you're making an assumption that the biggest hurt is through black and white issues, and that might be true. However, I feel that there are those who have gone through a lot of pain and prejudice by not being black. It has nothing to do with a race issue, but has to do with every other issue. And so it seems like you're assuming that he has hurt more than I have simply because his issue is more prominent than mine. And
do I know what your issue is?
No, definitely.
Do I know what his issue is?
You're making that,
do I know what his issue is? Do I have...
You're making the assumption that yes, but you don't know his day-to-day.
Do I know how this society has historically and today treats people of color?
Yes.
Yes. Carrie doesn't want to hear. Carrie wants, I think, that Carrie is determined to see this from her own agenda, and no matter how often you tell her, you have choice. People of color have no choice, Carrie. She can change her clothes, she can change her hair, she can change her ornamentation. People of color can't change their color.
I think I have experienced enough of my own pain to be able to say that on the inside, how different could we really be? And I felt like when I was in the middle group, all of my previous experiences with judgment and prejudice, etc., were being invalidated.
Stand up. You stand up. Stand right here. You stand right here. Now, you folks see any differences here? You see any differences here? It's a perfectly logical question, do you?
Yes.
What's the first one you notice? What?
Sex.
Sex. Is sex important to you? Let me put that another way. Is it important to you that you're male?
Yes.
Yes. Why?
I feel strong, powerful.
Your gender is important to you.
Yes.
Do you want to be seen as a male?
Yes.
Yes. Has anybody ever said to you, when I see you, I don't see you male?
No.
No. Has anybody ever said to you, when I see you, I don't see you black?
Yes.
Yes. Now you see, when I asked him, has anybody ever said to you, when I see you, I don't see you male, you chuckle and laugh. That's funny. But nobody laughed when I said, has anybody said, I don't see you black? Now, she doesn't see your difference. Is your difference important to you?
Yes.
Yes.
But on the other hand...
Wait a minute. Is your gender as important to you that you're female?
No.
It isn't.
No.
You don't bring anything different to the table than what a male would bring to the table.
Yes, historically, and
No,
yes,
not-
societally,
what-
not individually.
Perspective, your perspective is not different from his?
Of course my perspective is different, but I don't think it's because I'm female.
I think...
In the sense that, yes and no, because of our different physical attributes.
Are you as powerful as he is?
I don't know.
Are you as strong as he is?
Physically, no.
But then is that a difference?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Does that make a difference in how you have to behave?
It depends.
Can he go places safely, securely, that you probably can't because of his size, because of his gender? Safely
depends.
and securely?
It depends.
What is...
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
it depends. You know he can. All right, let me put it this way. How many of you see Rasu as black? Did you know you were black before they said so? Is your color important to you?
Very important.
And your height is important to you?
Yes.
And why is your color important to you?
It is who I am.
It is who you are.
It's not that I want to invalidate in any way, shape, or form Rasul's hurt, and I realize that it's entirely different from mine. it shouldn't be that way. However, it is. Gender is a part of me in the same way that color of skin is a part of me, so I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to say that it doesn't make me different and that my experiences haven't shaped who I am. But I think what I was trying to say was, it doesn't matter in the end if I'm male or female.
Is it important for you that she sees you as you are, not as just like everybody else?
Yes.
Yes. When you say to a person of color, when I see you, I don't see you black, I just see everybody the same. People, think about that. You don't have the right to say to a person, I do not see you as you are. I want to see you as I would be more comfortable seeing you.
I wanted to make it clear to the class that the first thing we do see is black and white. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad, but it's something that we have to come to and say and agree and just be open with it, like, yes, he's black, I see it.
Rasul came away with the knowledge of how the power system works. And that's extremely important. And I think with the knowledge that it isn't his imagination. We live in different realities, but when you deny what this person is going through, or what this person is going through, you're denying their reality. We are different on the outside. Are you and I the same on the inside?
We're both loving people, we're good souls, but we're not.
No. Have you ever been pregnant?
No.
No. So are you and I the same on the inside?
No.
No, absolutely. Are you and I the same on the inside? Absolutely. Are our psychologies the same? No. The psychology of whites is not the same as the psychology of blacks, or Native Americans, or Latinos, or Asian Americans. Male psychology isn't the same as female psychology. The psychology of the young isn't the same as the psychology of the old. We are as different on the inside as we are on the outside, and we have the right to be so. People, don't deny differences. Accept them, appreciate them, recognize them, and cherish them. They are extremely important. I think the exercise does indeed make them more aware, and I think it does indeed make them, allow them to have more empathy. I know it does. I think it changes the way they think about themselves and their environment. I think it changes the way they perceive others. I think it changes the way they perceive their own power. The exercise is over. You don't have to worry about your eye color anymore. And some of you still don't have to worry about your skin color. But some of the rest of you do.